The Philistines, there's 5 cities along here that we call the Philistines. Who are the Philistines? Where did they come from? Well, they were little pesky neighbors for the Israelites around just before David, and David became friends with them. But before that, they had the pesky Philistines were, kind of enemies. And where they came from, probably, we think they came from Scandinavia, maybe Norway, something like that, Sweden. They came down with their families, and they raided. They raided and they pillaged and they plundered city after city. As they were plundering and raiding, they got, not only did they steal goods, but they never stayed in one spot. They always moved on. They never lost a battle, never. They won, they took, and they saw, they grabbed, and then they moved on. They didn't stay. And they had their family and the kids and everything with them. They never settled. They called them the sea people because they also traveled by the sea. So they had boats and everything. So they traveled in 2 ways. So one of the things that they discovered was iron ore. They figured out how to get iron out of ore. One of the cities, or one of the places where they went, that was one of the gifts that they stole, was this process of getting iron. And so they introduced the Iron Age. The other thing they also invented was beer, because they have beer mugs. They have beer things for beer. So we like the Philistines. A lot of people like them. I don't drink beer, but the Pharisees have that. So we know that. So they decided to go against Egypt, the superpower Egypt. Nobody goes against Egypt because it's a desert, and you know what? And the Egyptians never lose. But they went to battle in Egypt, and here's the pictures of that. You can see that there are the different sizes of people. That these guys are a little bit bigger than these guys, almost a head bigger. That's because they were Scandinavians. These are the Egyptians here, and these are the Philistines. So they were a lot bigger, and you see the proportion of them. So there was a great battle, and the Philistines lost, believe it or not. So what they did is they settled in those 5 cities along the seacoast. And they had, and this is their pottery. Their pottery is really beautiful. And pottery, for an archaeologist, gives you an enormous amount of information. Because if you've discovered, because every pottery has a signature. It gives you a date, and it gives you a place, and it gives you a people. So certain people would do different designs. So you know when when the Philistines visited a particular city or conquered it, or somebody. So pottery was a huge thing in the ancient world, and some pottery was really beautiful, like this pottery here. The Philistines were super sophisticated. The Israelites at the time were country bumpkins compared to the Harvard scholars.